Okay, so today we are going to take what we learned about value or the lightness or darkness of a color last week and apply it to your new painting. So we're going to do a night sky with trees, the silhouette of trees up front. But it's going to be done in 2 steps. So the first day we just paint the sky and we're going to wait for it to dry. And then the second day we go back and add the trees. Now, what we're going to do is start with a tint, which is a color plus white in the middle, and slowly fade out to in the middle being just the color, which is blue, and then start slowly fading to a shade, which is the color plus black. So the color that we're going to be doing for the sky is blue. And since the first step is it being the lightest in the middle, we're going to get some water and add it to our white. Now I know last week we used liquid paint to try and do these value shades. We're going to use the cakes today because I just think they're a little easier to use. We can mix right on the palettes as long as we clean them off. So right on the paint we can mix. I'm going to start with the white circle. Now, make sure your brush is clean, otherwise your white is going to be slightly tinted. Mine's just a little tiny bit pink. That's okay. If it's a little bit colored, that's fine. So now I'm going to just not swirl, but just dip in my water. Keep that white paint on there. I'm going to go down to my blue. Swirl on my blue. Get a little blue. Maybe swirl like 10 times. Bring it over to my white. And start mixing until I get a really light white. I need a little more water, so I'm going to just, again, don't wash it, just dip in and get more water. Okay, the more I swirl on top of this white, the lighter the color is going to be, because the more water is mixing with white below and mixing that blue in. So once I get a pretty light blue, I'm going to come back to this circle and I'm going to draw a circle around it. Now, my paint's a little dry, so I'm going to do that dip in the water, not swirl it, just dip one in. And I'm just going to bring water and just do water, no paint, to spread this. And just take my brush with that water to spread this around. Okay, now dip one more time in the water, and this time I'm gonna kind of mix it into that white. I can always go back and add more white at the end if I accidentally cover up this whole white section. Okay, now I'm gonna go back, dip my brush in the water. Don't clean it yet. Get some more. And this time I'm gonna get a little bit more blue because I want to make it darker. Every layer of this circle should be a little darker than the last. So, once I get my paint down, I'm going to do what I did before, which is dip in the water, no paint, just dip in the water. Take my water to spread that out. Okay, now we've got white, light blue, a little bit darker blue, but it's still blue with white. It's still a tint. It's not a shade yet. Now I'm just going to go straight to my blue, and there's a little bit of water on, or a little bit of white on there still, so it's still slightly light. That's okay. And I'm going to do just blue. I'm not going back and getting any more white. Okay. Now, I'm going to add a little bit more water to my blue paint. I'm going to do a little bit of a thicker layer. Now, again, what am I going to do to smooth this out? I'm going to take my brush without washing it, just dip it once in the water, get it wet, and use the water to spread this and to blend it. Maybe I need one more dip of water over for this side. Okay. I'm gonna get a little bit more blue paint, a little bit more blue paint, a little bit more. Now, is this a perfect circle? No, it doesn't need to be. It just needs to slowly fade from light to regular blue. And now we're gonna go and make it a shade, which means adding black to it. So I'm gonna take my water, get some blue, swirl, 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 and then go over to the black. You don't need a lot of black. So I'm just gonna do 1, 2, 3 swirls. Okay. Now I'm gonna do that again. Dip some water, get some blue, 1, 2, 3 swirls. Ooh, see, now that was way darker. So what we're gonna do is go get more blue because I made that a little too dark. So I'm not getting any more black right now. I'm just getting blue and painting over that. The more blue I add, the lighter that's gonna get. Okay, now again, dip in water, no paint, just in water, and spread that out. So that water is gonna, one more dip in water. No paint, I didn't add any paint, I just dipped in the water. And I'm gonna spread this out. Now, the next layer is gonna be even darker. So, I dip in my water. I get some blue. This time I'm gonna do 5 swirls in the black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, that's almost black. So, that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just painting those corners. Okay, now I gotta do the same for that side. So 10 swirls on the black, or sorry, 10 swirls on the blue, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the black. Now you notice I've got more paper on this side than I did on that covered in black. That's okay. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. So blue with black. If your paint's not going far, what can I do? Add just some water to spread that out. So that time I just added water. Now notice I'm painting in a circle. I'm not going this way or this way. I'm painting in the direction that I want the paint to look like it's swirling out. Like it's swirling, swirling, swirling like a tornado. If I were to paint across brush strokes or up and down brush strokes, it wouldn't look like it was swirling, right? We want the sky to look like the moon is shining out. So it should always be round circles that you are using for your brush strokes. Never straight across. Don't go back in there and do this. Okay, that would ruin your piece. We always want it to look like there's just a big circle going off the page, right? So circles, never across, never up and down, but always in that curve of the circle. Now, I'm gonna put my brush in my water. I've got my entire sheet covered. Do you see any white other than this in the middle? I don't, right? We don't want to leave any white on the outside of the paper. The whole paper should be covered in paint. When you have your entire paper covered in paint, you can carefully, with 2 hands, pick it up and go bring it over to the drying. Now, if for some reason this has not worked out, or there's a section that isn't fading, raise your hand, I'll come around and I'll help you. Okay, so next part is going to be next class when we come in, and it will be dry. We'll grab our papers and then we'll start adding the trees.